Fabulations, dears and darlings, and welcome to a very special episode of the Robyn Experience. I'm down here at the MSC Radio Network where my dearest friend Chris has been nice enough to let us use his facilities so that we can do this very special report. Now, as many of you know, on March 28th, I did a video called Are Trannies Better Than Women? It was addressing a question that was inboxed to me, seeing about the differences in looks and appearances between transgenders and females. Now, some of you were very offended by this video that I did and by the language and things that I used in it. So I'm here to, first of all, apologize and set everything straight. With me, I have Harmony Moon, who is an open transgender female.
Correct. Yes.
Who was nice enough to come on to be my transgender expert to tell me exactly where it was that I went wrong. Do you want to say anything about yourself?
Oh, we'll just get to that when we need to.
Okay. And to my other side, I don't know left from right, unfortunately, I have Clarissa Pittman,
Yes.
who is a mother of 3, and as far as I know, a biological female.
Yes.
As far as I know. So what I want to do first is just give you a small background on both of these ladies, and I'm going to let them do that themselves. So if you'd like to start, I know first of all that you do a lot of mentoring for.
I do. I do a great deal of work with lots of young trans individuals when they first come out and stuff. They need somebody to look after them so they're not such, we'll put it politely and say messes.
Okay. Because there's a lot of underground treatment and stuff going on. Now, do you dabble in any of that, or as far as the table pumping and the...
Not especially.
Okay. Okay, so you're a legitimate life coach as far as that goes.
As far as that goes, yes.
Okay.
Using my expertise and whatnot, apparently.
All right. Well, to the other side, what about you? What's going on? The best thing I can say about you is that you are a family person. You've got great ties with your family.
Yes, very family oriented.
Okay. And right now, like I said, there's not pretty much to say about being a biological female except that your beauty is natural. And I asked her if she wanted help with her makeup tonight, and she said all I need is what?
Lips.
A little bit of lip gloss.
Yes, that's all. I don't do the makeup or whatnot. I don't knock people that does it, but I just like the normal look, the natural.
Well, good.
Right on.
This video is not to argue or put one against the other. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to address the aesthetics of biological females, transgender females, and drag queens. And I have openly told you all many, many a time that is what I do. That's how I get down. I am just a performer. I am here for your entertainment, contrary to the Pink song. But now let's get into some of the more nitty-gritty details. Because what I said in the video was that transgenders have to go through a lot more to go through the not personification, but the, help me out here, you know the word I'm looking for.
I don't know. I should.
To look as the gender that they are portraying. I was trying to make it really, really special, use a great word, but I couldn't figure it out. But what were some of the things you had to go through?
Oh, let's see here. A year of laser hair removal on my face. Hormone treatment, which had to go through a therapist and then an endocrinologist at the Metro Clinic. Let's see here. Had to go through therapy for a couple months prior to all of that. There was coming out to parents on a not so specific thing. There was coming out to friends. Switching over my gender in general, work, home, general social things. Of course, growing hair out and all of that stuff. Essentially relearning, reprogramming my brain in a lot of ways.
Let's talk, if I can stop you just for a second, let's talk a little bit about the therapy portion of it. Because you were saying there was 2 types of therapists that you went to, or just the one?
2.
There was two. Okay, so which was the first one?
The first one was some old man. He was not very useful.
Okay.
He kind of just passed me off to people.
So what was he for? What was his purpose initially?
I think my mom sent me there to talk me out of it.
Oh, so this was like a family counselor type thing.
Kind of, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay. So, what about the second one then?
That was my doing. I specifically was referred to her because she does a lot of work. Brooke Croto over in, well, she's got two of them, but I go to the one in Rocky River. She does a lot of work specifically in the trans community and has been doing so for a number of years. And I went to see her specifically to get on hormones and get me on the fast track to changing things over, legalities, and all of that stuff.
So so legalities. You wanted, when you changed your gender, you wanted to make sure that every piece of information you had your new name on it.
Correct.
Which is Harmony.
Yes.
Okay. So was it a long process? Was it?
Let's see.
Was it particularly difficult?
It was a lot of waiting.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is a discussion. Please come in.
Was it like? How should I say it? Was it a lot of money and put into this, getting your name and stuff switched?
For my name, it was about $136 for the actual court appointment, where I just saw like a magistrate, I think they're called, and he sort of oversaw it, and that was just for that. And then there was an additional $40 to get it published in the newspaper, because you have to do that prior to any sort of legal thing.
So you have to get your new name.
It has to be published in a newspaper 30 days prior to the actual meeting, that so-and-so is changing their name to so-and-so in order to make sure that all debt collectors and all that stuff that you might be trying to avoid, so that they know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so continue.
Let's see here. It was initially I got in there, had to I went in there the first time, and some lady told me I needed a paper that said that I was not that I was legally sane. Went in there the second time, I didn't need it, so I may have been a little discriminated against.
I was going to ask that. That's not the first time I've heard that. Now, some people actually do have to go to a special type of counselor to make sure that they are indeed, like you said, legally sane to go through the transitioning process. But you didn't have to do that.
I did do it, but it turns out I didn't need it the second time I went in there. So I needed a birth certificate, the actual papers, paid the $130 had to wait around for a month, went back in, had to wait around for a couple more weeks. It was changed, then I had to go to the Social Security office, get that switched over, wait around a couple weeks. Then I had to go ahead and take that and then switch over bank accounts, car insurance, all that sort of stuff.
So we've got a lot of crisscross going on.
A lot of waiting there was a lot of waiting involved.
So how much was would you say, gross amount that you spent going through just the name changing part, the legalities?
Probably about 200 or so.
Okay.
Just that.
Well, that's not bad.
Not too bad. It's a drop in the bucket at this point.
Well, I mean, not everyone can just go out and get a new name. Right. Part of the process was proving that you had an actual reason to go through that process, to change it.
Basically, the only reason you would ever get shot down is if it's found that you're trying to dodge debt collectors or anything like that.
Which you can't do, because then you have to go put your name in the newspaper.
Yes, there's so-and-so, there was like some certain court cases that were passed in like the last 10 years or so that made it so trans individuals that can change their name very easily.
Okay.
So
as I said, this is a completely open discussion between me and my two friends here. First of all, did you have any questions now?
You went through all of the transformation?
All that fun stuff, yeah.
Okay.
And was that very hefty in the pockets too? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh, the things you guys have to go through.
It does. It takes a lot of work.
Beauty isn't free.
No, on neither side.
No, it's not.
Now, getting back into beauty, what is your usual regimen as far as skin goes? Because you have very clear skin.
Well, my fiance, he's one of those skin people. Like he be in the bathroom more than I do.
Okay, good. So you got a man in the house who's already going through the process.
The beauty process.
The clear seals and the facial scrubs.
My whole thing is like I just buy like anything that's like tone for tone, like cocoa butter soaps. We do the Aveeno. And then everybody has a skin problem in our house, eczema or dry skin. So I try to get everything that's going to be great for that. And I guess it works out sometimes.
Now, you are not a female in any way that has this problem, but some women do have facial hair. what would you think would be the best way to take care of that? Because we just heard about laser treatments. So on a more natural side, what do you think?
Well, I have a sister that has that problem. A couple, but one sister, she shaves.
Okay, just with a razor.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of razor she uses, but yeah, she shaves.
Some people I know tweeze. If it's just a little
Or
bit like
if
on
I'm,
the
if I'm
upper lip.
sorry to interrupt, but I don't know if she shave or if she put the hair removal. I would rather do the hair removal.
It would last longer.
You don't have to worry about the bumps.
Now, I do have an aunt who does the Nair hair. I don't know if we're not doing any product placement. Okay, so don't sue us for any of that. No product placement here, but the products that we have used are Nair and Veet. And I have seen both of those used on the face, and too long, if you keep them on too long,
it burns.
It burns.
to death.
It
And then
burns
you
in
have
general.
blotches and
It
all
burns
that
in
stuff.
general. So.
Now, if you don't mind, I've seen you after one of your hair treatments. And
It's bad.
so like you said, the first time though, it was painful.
Oh, it's painful every time because they're shooting you in the face with a high voltage laser against the skin.
With no.
There's like no anesthesia. There's like a cooling gel they stick on you, but that's about it. The most recent time I went in was like a month and a half ago or so. At this point, I was in and out in 10 minutes. Each time it's got shorter because there was just less hair to treat and everything. So. But you get this thing called crusting afterwards. Your face swells up because there's a lot of trauma to it. You get crusting, which is where it basically scabs under the skin. It's not pretty.
No. So, is it advised during that time that you put makeup over it, or you just have to?
You can, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Do it work? Like, is it a great cover?
It will cover it up if you do a good job, but it's still lumpy. It's still sore. It's still swollen. You can only do so much with makeup.
Lay down afterwards, huh?
It's yeah.
So, you've been doing hair treatments for a year now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So during that year, was it every month, every other month that you were going to do hair treatments?
Initially, it was basically I would only go in when it started to actually grow back because it would die and then it would grow back. Initially, it came in at about was going in every 2 months or so. I've ended up going about 6 times now. Each time, one big thing about laser hair removal is it gets cheaper each time you go. First time I went in there, it was like $300. Then it went down to $240. Then it went down to like $180 for a while. This most recent time I was there was just $80.
Well, that's pretty good for you, bargain hunters. Just stay consistent.
I was just about to ask because, like, I was telling my older sister that I was going to get her eyebrows drawn on. Maybe I should get her to start off with the hair treatment.
They won't do that. It's too close to the eyes.
Really?
Oh, they don't do eyebrows.
They don't do eyebrows.
Wow. I would have thought.
They'll do anywhere else. They'll do anywhere else the sun shines or doesn't.
Oh.
No eyebrows. It's too close to the eyes.
Well, I don't care. We're on the internet. We're not doing any PG.
It is very important. You have to. If you go down there with the sun don't shine, you have to. Otherwise, when you get your vagina taken care of, the inside of your vagina is hairy.
I was just about to ask. That is so. You caught me right before I could say.
Yes.
So
It's very important to do that.
So you did up at top and bottom.
Oh no, only up in the attic.
Oh, you haven't got
Yeah.
in the basement yet?
Well, I just shave down there all the time anyway.
Okay.
So. Maybe for about 2 weeks in my life I had it and I went, that's not for me.
Did it? Ooh, I can believe it.
oh,
I would think.
I am slightly traumatized. I'm not the only speechless is traumatized. I don't even know where I'm going next. Okay, so now what's this? You have something for me? Mail online. Oh, men pay price for not reading instructions on hair removal. Oh, so what this is saying here that I've just been handed is that men have gone through some very painful genital experiences because they do not take proper care of their hair removal treatments, including burning, itching, rashes, you know, lots of stuff going on.
All that general madness.
I really, okay, I want to get off of hair removal.
But you
Starting to itch myself just a little bit. Let's get on makeup. Now, you first. You don't need makeup. You don't usually wear makeup. When you do, what do you like?
I have never
Thank you.
tried it. You're going to be my makeup artist when I get married next year, so you'll let me know.
Well, you certainly don't need all that I'm wearing. You saw me get ready today. I'm wearing several layers, including highlights,
But you can't
lowlights.
tell.
Well, thank you. That's all in the blending. You, makeup, what do you think?
I like to wear as little as possible if I can get away with it.
Okay.
Usually it's just cover up, face, bit on the chest, eye makeup if I feel like going the extra mile. Not usually though.
Would you say, and this is for both of you, would you say that men or whoever, everyone's after men here, straight? Straight? Okay, so when you're after men, or you know what, let's not even, people, would you say that people prefer natural beauty?
I would say so.
Nowadays, should you even have kids that's in basically almost in elementary trying to put it on now? So yeah,
Put it on badly.
basically
Put it on badly.
very, but they put it on.
Now let's get a little raunchy with our conversation.
Oh really? The
Just-
whole thing about zapping pubes?
Yeah, okay,
and
yeah,
stuff?
that.
That was a
You said earlier at the house, and this was not to attack anyone, but there are those
Harmony started it.
transgender,
Oh, dear.
and then, okay, well,
I
2
forget what I
seconds
said.
before I do that, let's get under the umbrella. Let's see what transgender means, because the way I've always explained it, and I want you to correct me, and
Okay.
I am nothing. The way I've always explained it is that transgender was an umbrella.
Yes.
Under it, cisgender, transvestite, transsexual. That's how I've always explained it.
Cisgender, I would say, does not fall under transgender umbrella.
Okay,
Okay.
I would say it's the opposite of
illiterate
it.
on that. What is that?
Cisgender is a genetically born
I'll take those papers
female
back.
or male.
Okay.
If you agree, if you agree
Thank you.
with the body you're born into, basically.
Oh, okay. See, you learned something.
That's what
today.
cisgender is. Transgender, I would say, drag queens, cross-dressers, transsexuals, basically any sort of gender variance in there. Gender queer, all that sort of stuff.
Would cross-dressers be under there as well?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Now where was I going? What was I just talking about?
Something about raunchiness.
Raunchiness. Some of the, let's say, female impersonators thus far, let's start with female impersonators, have not been up to par. And go ahead, elaborate on that.
Well, you have the ones who just.
Don't be shy. We're talking to America here.
Yes, and you have the ones who you just look at and be like, I wish you would take your ass home and look in the mirror or something, because you just came out here looking a hot mess. Like, you can't be, this is a whole world of people, black, white, Chinese, everywhere, and you making them look bad because you just came outside looking like.
And this is a world that
who
is
done it
obsessed
and why?
with looks and
Yes.
beauty and aesthetics. Now, when first starting out the transgender process, not everyone looks their best.
Oh, God, no.
My high school friends will tell you that I was ugly.
You
I want to
okay?
see these pictures.
I did not take any pictures, and the ones that were taken have been buried quite deep. But you know what? You might, if you dig deep enough on Facebook, you'll find them.
All right.
You will.
I will.
So not that deep. But let's get into the beginning stages of transgenderism.
Oh, yes. For me, that was awkward. The first time I ever dressed as female was on Halloween of 2009.
Oh, wow, that
Um,
wasn't so fun.
Side note: Halloween is when everyone tries it first.
I was about to say.
Not everyone. It's when a large population of those wanting to
Try
go through
it.
the transition and give it their first
you,
try.
you have that little umbrella you can hide under the safety of it,
Oh,
you
this is
know?
my costume.
Oh, well, yeah.
I just decided to be
I was-
the girl next door.
I was staying in an Indian casino in northwest Minnesota at the time. And that's where I decided what I decided to do with my Halloween.
Okay.
With one of my friends at the time. I was very much a mess. I was much thinner back then. Hormones have plumped me out a bit, which isn't necessarily bad. I'm a little more voluptuous and all that. I was skinnier. I had more bold features because my face hadn't filled out. My hair was a bit shorter, and I hadn't stylized it and stuff like that. Makeup was
All
a
over the
crime
place.
scene. That was atrocious. Heels were very natural for me. The hardest part was finding clothes that fit me because it was very uncomfortable shopping in the beginning because then you're that weird guy shopping in the ladies section, or if you dress as female clothes in the beginning, then you're the cross-dresser dressing in the female section, and people are left to their own devices, and they always lead to the worst places. So it's very awkward in the beginning, and it's usually I try to avoid that awkwardness with the people I sort of I look after, my kids as I call them.
Now, if I may make the argument, not all females know how to dress for their body type either,
Oh, Lord, no.
especially when coming into their own style.
Yes, because I know I can bring up a few pictures of me back in the day, and Lord,
And that is
a mess.
especially difficult during weight fluctuations. Because what we used to wear when we were thinner isn't always as flattering when we get a little bit bigger.
Yes.
And coming from someone who's gone through the pregnancy process, you know.
Well, yeah. I only know from the third child, because, the first two, I was still diva. I'm a diva now, don't get me wrong, but that baby has put pounds on me to where I've just, we're going to have to talk afterwards about this. I might need you to help me on to some of the people you've been talking to. My midsection needs some help.
So, with that being said, I think it's fair to say that we have cleared up any type of differences that we've done between transgenders and females. They equally go through a lot of trials and tribulations as far as style, makeup, weight fluctuations. The thing that we have over here, though, is also the lifestyle, getting the name change. That's hard.
It's the commitment, really, is the main thing. Is stuff that the genetic women are born with. And that a lot of them take for granted is stuff that we have to really work for.
Okay.
So
it is, am I correct in saying it is a bit more effort just to find a neutral beauty? Because not everyone needs to be over the top all the way, because you do focus on natural beauty.
Yes.
But it does take a minute to get there.
I say that for a genetic woman, a cisgender woman can just roll out and be here. A trans woman has to work really hard to get there.
Okay.
And
That's not true.
well,
Because you got
For some.
some that just let their self go.
It's a generalization. So there's train wrecks and shining people for both sides.
I understand, but it's just, at least you're working to get there, and you have people that are already there that don't even care.
So it is
They take it for granted.
appreciating the beauty and appreciating the work that goes into having the beauty. And then maintaining a neutral balance.
Yes.
All right? Have I pretty much cleared up my name and the argument?
I'd say so.
So the original question was, are transgenders, and I'm not going to say tranny anymore, are transgenders...
I say that. That's my N-word,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's my N-word.
Which is an offensive word, and I'm sorry. Tranny is an offensive word.
Yeah.
The original question, are trannies better than women? Absolutely not. They each have their own things to go through in their own different ways, and one should never be compared to another as far as looks and struggles, just because in every sense of the word it is difficult to be a beautiful woman and a beautiful trans woman. So as ambassador for biological women and ambassador for for trans women, do we have a neutral what is the word when you agree with something and you don't fight anymore? A treaty. Do you want to? I'm not gonna.
Are we shaking hands?
Yes, that's what I wanted.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you all for tuning in to this very special episode of the Robyn Experience. Again, this was my very, very special friend, Miss Clarissa Pittman, who was nice enough to come on, and Miss Harmony Moon. If you would like to see this done more often this way, call the Morning Show Central Network and tell them that you'd like to sponsor the Robyn Experience. I'm sure that they'd enjoy another show on their network, and I'm shaking my head at the producer. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you later.